realized that the contribution of the real estate sector to the gross domestic product is not very impressive, and we are bothered as a practitioner, and we felt that the only way that we can contribute our quota to this is to create a platform, for knowledge sharing and meaningful conversation in the sector. And so we created this platform so that we can bring all stakeholders together. Because you see, when you talk about the growth of an economy, it's not the work of one person. It's not the work of an entity or a single company. People have to come together. Systems have to collaborate. Industries have to work together. And that's the essence of this platform. So we are bringing everybody together, and then we made the team for the Maiden Edition promoting the growth of economies through real estate investment and development. So we are keen on seeing that there's an improvement in the growth of the Nigerian economy. So that's the reason behind bringing or creating this platform. The audience is a cross-section of professionals around different industries. Real estate sector has a lot of sister industry playing in that sector. So we have bring together professionals in the real estate space, professionals in the security sector. I mean, you have the Commissioner of Police, you have the member of the DSS.
You need security in real estate.
You can't talk about real estate investment without security. So security is very key to real estate investment and to promoting economies. So we have invited them in as well. They are available. Member of the financial institutions are available. The regulatory authority, representative of the Director General of the Standards Organization of Nigeria just spoke now, and they are also shedding more light as to what we should expect in terms of enforcing standards in that industry, so that we can see a reduction in the issue of incessant building collapse and all of that. Because all of those things are also sending the wrong signal to international investors.
Are we seeing a synergy here, between Nigeria and other nations concerning real estate development?
Thank you very much for that question. Yes, we are seeing a lot of synergies between what's happening in Nigeria and what's happening in other parts of the world. As you know, we live in a global world, and Nigeria cannot operate in isolation. So what is impacting Nigeria and what is impacting other countries internationally also have a bearing on our real estate industry. So that's why this is an international conference, and it touches just more than what impacts Nigeria alone. It also cuts across what happens in other parts of the world. The concept of value is as a result of the interplay of demand and supply.
Okay.
Where there is demand, you will see value. And that's why places where there is population and places where there's population growth tend to see increase in property values, because people need to live, people need to work, and it attracts people. But the good news is that we are seeing a lot of interest in some other cities. Let's take Ibadan, for example, in Oyo State. Because of the link and improvement in transportation, we are seeing a lot of demand for real estate in Ibadan as a result of some of the recent infrastructure development, like the rail, like the advancement of the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, and a lot of other infrastructural works that is going on. So a key driver for demand in other states is connectivity. So as we see more rail connectivity between Abuja and Kaduna, for example, between Lagos and Ibadan, between Abuja and Kano and some other places, that begins to open up new secondary cities, and naturally demand will follow.
Well, the only constant when it comes to real investments that has surpassed time is the real estate, right? And there is always something that comes with population, all right? And somehow it is unavoidable, because this is a push and pull effect of demand and supply. I feel that there has to be some system. It's not within my purview to allot what system will be, but I think that when we trade, there's what they call ethical sales, right? There's ethical profit and just very exploitative profit. So we need an organization to step in between this, to connect what is ethical and what is exploitative.
When we talk of building collapse, we talk of two things. It can be man-made, it can be natural. When we talk of man-made, you talk of using substandard products, which is like what we're talking about. You talk of using a wrong concrete mix. We talk of using design deficiency. Maybe the client not actually opening up to say, this is what I want to do. You talk of calculation errors, in which you are not able to calculate well on the load that comes in. We talked of unskilled labors and many more. SON is just the secretariat. When we elaborate the standards, we elaborate standards for products, for processes, for materials, and for measurements. And we ensure that these standards are promoted at the national level. So basically, that is what we do. If you look at the real estate sector, we have cement, which is the most important one because it's the concrete that binds all the components together. We have standards for cement. And when we did the standards, cement has different grades. All these grades are stated in the standards. When we did the standards, the relevant stakeholders were part of it. And then we created awareness. Because why will we just make a standard just to put it on the shelf? We created awareness for people. Same thing, the reinforcement bars. You know, for the reinforcement bars, at every 1 meter, there should be the identification of the manufacturer. So when a building collapses and you go to the site, you may not be able to know who made the block. You can pick the mix, but you can actually pick the iron rod and see the diameter of the iron rod, and you can check it. And then from there, you'll be able to know whether it meets up with the requirements of the standard or not.
Okay, so call to action to individuals and corporate entities is to ensure that in whatever we do, we embrace excellence as a corporate entity in our delivery. Our call to action for our government is to ensure that there is effective regulation of some of the laws. So what this platform is also going to do at the end of the day is to draw key points and then forward some of these key points to these government agencies and decision makers. And some of the things that we'll also be advocating for is ensuring that there's the concept of contributory negligence. So a situation whereby a public officer is negligent of his or her duty and believes that nothing will happen because there's no checks and balances. This conference will address that issue.